What are you thinking? You going to put the sheets and giggles to use tonight, or what?
You know that, baby. Oh, yeah.
I imagine that's what it sounds like, and then a little coughing. Yep, there you go.
This is the Greg Cote Show with Greg Cote.
Pardon it.
Here's your host, Greg Cote.
There's something I want to bring up, but only if you guys are into it more than I am, because I only have peripheral interest or knowledge of it. But apparently, there's a chance that on January 19th, the U.S. is going to ban TikTok, which is popular with like 200 million people.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Okay, let's talk about that then, because it's huge. I mean, it'd be...
It feels like we are talking about it.
Well, okay, we can continue then, because when I was having my eyebrows removed on the Levitard show the other day...
Yeah, Lucy, she's big into TikTok. She's probably really concerned.
Yeah, she's addicted to TikTok, and she was mentioning kind of casually that during the pandemic, on TikTok, she learned how to, do makeup and hair and everything.
Yeah, you can do anything. I mean, there are all the other social media outlets are playing ball. They see what TikTok is doing. Like, basically what you do on TikTok, you can do on everything now, on Instagram Reels, and it's not as like they don't grab you. There's something. I'm with her. There's something about TikTok. They just know what you like. Really? A little better than all the other places.
Okay, because
that's what I mean. People think of it as just a dancing thing. It's like, no, like you go on TikTok and watch the videos that you're into, and man, you'll sit there for hours. It's terrible, but it's great.
Okay, but here's the thing. If I Google how do I apply makeup to my face, 1,000 videos come up.
Yeah, but it's gonna be like it's just gonna be like websites, and you're gonna be like, I don't know what to click on here. Whereas if you search makeup tutorials on TikTok, I'm telling you, they're gonna get you better. It's better than just Googling something.
Okay.
Are you just going back in my day? You Googled something instead of TikTok.
I just don't know that TikTok has, a private lane when it comes to instructional videos.
Dad, you're looking at someone, and I believe Yeti has my predictions, my preseason NFL. You're talking to someone who has done really well in a football pool the last couple of years. And the way I do it, my process is there's 5 games a week I have to pick. I go onto TikTok, I type in the matchup, and I just start scrolling, and you hear about every injury, all the trends. Like, I can do 10 minutes on one game of just scrolling, and I am so informed on every single thing that I need to know.
Okay, way to give away your secret recipe for success.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
there are so many other people that do the same thing, Greg.
It's just a way, anything you need to learn about. Like, I swear, you could put it into practically anything.
Okay, Bulletin. When I Google Rams at Vikings, a lot of information comes up.
Right, but it's just more, it's not as easily digested, Dad, I'm telling you. Like, okay. You have to like look through it's going to take you to their last 10 matchups. Like, yeah, that's boring to like look at. Whereas
and TikTok, most of the time they've condensed it down to like a, 1 or 2 minute video.
Right. And it's the most
just
viewed,
easily digestible.
It's the most viewed of those. So it's like, it's videos that people like. So that means it's probably interesting, or like the algorithm like is smarter than me, like perusing a Google search.
It's just a way to aggregate that information that you would look for on Google anyway.
It's genius. And I'm going to miss it.
The thing about this proposed ban of TikTok in the U.S. is the politics of it. I mean,
Trump wants money, right? Because I know he's met with the TikTok guy a bunch, like, it's basically a thing of, hey, if you're going to be in America, you need to give us money kind of thing. And TikTok's like playing hardball.
It's owned by the Chinese government. And I think there's speculation that somehow through TikTok, it's a national security breach or something. I
just assume all my information is already known. Like,
I know very little about it. From the little that I have listened to or read, it has something to do with fears about just our information and them being able to subvert democracy or subvert American values or whatever by the videos they feed us or whatever. What I really think what it is they're trying to get basically TikTok to sell. Right. And I think it's our government wants access to that information. It's not about the American values. They want to be able to
Yes.
propagandize or however. That's really what it all is.
Right.
And TikTok said something the other day. I don't remember if it was the CEO or some representative from TikTok said, if they're basically, they'll just shut it all down if they get forced to do things however our government's trying to get them to do.
Wait, so this is all about money? That's crazy.
Imagine that. Yeah.
Greg's coughing.
Back in my day, TikTok was the sound a grandfather clock made. All right, I want to get to Christopher's preseason bets and how poorly he did, because I don't know. I was in Key West the episode that you two ran the show and did those bets. So I'm learning all this stuff for the first time.
I tell you I don't remember what I said on here. I know that the one substantial preseason bet that I cashed, I hoping I said it on air, was Seattle Seahawks over win total 7.5. That cashed pretty easily. It cashed week 13 or 14. That one,
yes, you
was
did
it on
state
there,
that.
Yeti? Okay, good.
Yeah. So at the beginning of the football season, Chris listed out his season-long bets that he had. Chris, you did not do well.
No. I did a few future Super Bowl matchups.
One you listed on air. You listed one Super Bowl, not even a matchup. You just listed.
Go ahead. What did I say?
Win.
Just say what I did. What did I do?
All right. So you picked the Dolphins to win the Super Bowl.
That was just. That's just a flyer. That was a small amount of money.
That would have banked you about $5,000 if you had won.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, but so your college picks. You had Seahawks winning over 7.5. You had the Finns winning the Super Bowl. So you got your Seahawks one right. But the rest were college. So
Alabama, Tennessee, and Ole Miss to win the SEC.
So you listed Bama and Ole Miss both to win the SEC.
Yep. Farts.
You failed on both of those.
Yep.
Iowa to make the playoff.
Yep.
Failed miserably there. Yep. You had UNC winning the ACC.
Yeah, that was I actually
right as you made that
early.
Bet, their quarterback got injured.
Yeah.
And then UCF to win the Big 12.
I will say, I was close to even with those bets because of the way the Seattle bet was more of a substantial even money bet, whereas the other ones were flyer, pay big, you don't put as much down on that.
Right.
So I don't want to be that guy, but I was around. I didn't lose that much on all those bets because the only substantial bet was the Seattle one.
Either way, you lost.
No. You're right. I didn't do great on props this year in football. Yeah, I never do good. I don't do a lot of the preseason, season-long bet totals. I'm more of just a week-to-week kind of guy.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have an important announcement. Okay?
I bet you it's not that important.
It's important. It's been announced within the family, but everyone needs to know because we are all PFPI. And I want to announce today that the PFPI Gala and Awards Ceremony and Champions Dinner has been set for Sunday, February 2nd at PFPI South Florida World Headquarters. So
I thought you were going to say the big announcement was Michael asking me to be his best man.
Right. He finally made a decision.
Yeah.
Wow. And is it true? Is the rumor true that he asked you by text?
That's he did it as an inside joke because I did that for him years ago.
Okay.
So I can't really give him shit because it was a joke, an inside joke.
Okay.
That he did it. But I'm still thinking of what my opening line's going to be for my best man speech.
Oh, good. You want to run anything past us?
The one joke, I've said this on the Levitard show a long time ago, that the joke I had if I ever had a best man speech to start would be man, what a great day. Really an emotional day here. Even the cake's in tears.
Boom. You Googled that on the same site Greg gets his dad jokes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a bad one. That one, I don't know where I heard that. I didn't Google it, but that's one I've always just jokingly said I might do, but I'm definitely not going to do it, especially
No, you
now.
should. That's dad jokes quality.
But it's not good. It's not actually good.
It's funny. I smiled out loud. SOL. Yeah.
Now, the one joke I have workshopped that I might use in Michael's speech is that Michael will be the first person to Irish goodbye his own wedding. It's gonna be something along the extent of keep an eye on Michael tonight because he might be the first groom ever to. Did I say bride before? The first groom to ever Irish goodbye his own wedding.
That is hilarious. and everybody who knows Michael, and I want to bring the listeners in on this. Michael is just the kind of guy who always finds a way to leave quickly and without saying goodbye to anybody.
I feel like Yeti has never Irish goodbyed. Whatever the opposite of an Irish goodbye is what
Jeremy
Yeti does.
has referred to it as a Jewish goodbye.
That's where you say goodbye to everyone.
Well, and you take forever to get out the door. You end up having free like multiple conversations on your way out.
Dude,
that's
Jeremy
me and Jane. Yeah.
At the holiday party, Jeremy, I believe, said bye to me, and a half hour later, I saw him just talking to somebody, and I'm like, I thought you left. He's like, I'm still saying goodbye.
Oh my God. We go to this one restaurant where every time we walk in, there's a big crowd outside the front door, and we think it's because it's so crowded they're waiting for a table. No, they've left the restaurant, but they're just kibitzing and talking and schmoozing before they leave.
And being friends.
It's an annoyance. Wow. It annoys me.
Man, your ability to complain, you're really doing well with your New Year's resolution, by the way. Good job on that.
It's a work in progress.
Me and my dad went to lunch today, and he could not stop finding ways to complain about things. This lady's not walking fast enough. This person's driving too fast. This car is just existing. It was.
Does that mean it's time for our segment?
Oh, I think it is.
Okay, everybody. New segment. Greg Cote's Gripes of Wrath.
Annoyances, complaints. Greg's got grievances out the ass, so buckle up, Buttercup. It's time for Greg Cote's Gripes of Wrath.
Hopefully there's imaging there.
Okay, good. All right.
Go ahead.
I'm going to give you the benefit of doubt and say I love that imaging. Thank you.
Any new gripes this week?
I do. I'm going to listen. I want to limit this to Gripes of Wrath is going to be one gripe per week.
You're just saying that because you have only one this week.
Believe me, I got it. Gripes out the ass. Listen, aggressive tip solicitation has become an epidemic in this country. Okay, tips used to be on paper. You'd get a check at a table. You'd see the bottom line said you've spent $34 for lunch, and so you'd write in $7, $8, whatever.
You're saying the suggested tips?
Yes. And the suggested tips now begin at 20%. You don't even, because they're all electronic, I'm talking about. So the waitress comes to your table with a handheld thing, and you have to press a button that says your tip's going to be 20%, 25%, 30%.
There's nothing worse than when they stand there holding it. Like, hey, if we're going to do this
is
put the
a
thing
private
down.
Thing.
Put the thing down, step away from the table.
Because when they stand there holding it, they're in judgment of you.
Because I have no shame, and I'm gonna go in and do the custom tip, basically most of the time. Because I'm a good tipper, so I just don't want to do. I don't want to do full 25. I want to do a little more than 20. So I'm gonna go in and hand select something. But I always feel the most awkward doing it when they're just standing there. But I still do it. I don't let them get the better of me.
No, it's what I call aggressive tip solicitation, and it's not just the instance I'm talking about.
AGT.
It's also like if you go to a coffee shop.
Wait, aggressive tip. What is it?
ATS.
My bad.
Yeah, like against the spread, but with different words.
Yeah, I really screwed that up.
I'm just laughing at how much Chris has been digging into his nose this whole time. I'm sitting here thinking maybe I'll put this episode on YouTube. I'll try to edit it for YouTube. And
am I scratching my nose?
No, you've gone full finger.
Yeah,
a couple of times.
I want the screen grab that we put in the Miami Herald.
This is not picking my nose, guys.
I don't know.
No, it only looks like
it looked like you went in deeper earlier.
I mean, maybe I did.
Okay. Picking it. All right. Before we move off aggressive tip solicitation, ATS, I want to mention two other quick examples. You're in a coffee shop, right? They have a tip jar there. I'm waiting in line. They're not serving me. I'm waiting in line to be handed a cup. Why do they deserve a tip? Okay, the equivalent of that would be I'm in the grocery store. I'm tipping the cashier.
That happens in some places.
Wait, you're saying that the cashier and a coffee shop barista are the same thing?
Right.
You're the first person to complain if your coffee's bad.
Okay, their job is to serve me good coffee, and I'm paying for that coffee.
Wow.
It's a takeout thing. Look, I pay for service. I pay for somebody to come to my table, take my order, and serve me my food.
This is such a losing spot
in line.
This is such a losing spot.
in line, I don't pay for that. That's not service to me.
No one's asking for 20% there. They're not asking for 20%, Dad.
Why are they asking for anything?
Because they make less than minimum wage a lot of times.
You don't know that.
You're a man of means, and it's just like what
mean man is more like it.
Are you just looking for the hot take? Like, why argue this? You're like, these hardworking people with jobs that they probably don't love, they don't deserve that extra dollar. Like, it's just like, well, okay, good, Dad. Like, you win. Like,
listen, it's a matter of principle. Okay, there's a couple.
That's not an excuse. You've done that your whole life. Like, to be an asshole. Like, it's a matter.
No, look, there's rules of tip solicitation. There's rules of panhandling. Okay. If there's a panhandler on my intersection asking for money, presumably because he or she is down on their luck and needs the money, don't be wearing a pair of designer shoes and being on a cell phone.
What does that have to do with the barista?
Okay, it's just there's a way to solicit money properly. Okay?
It's really just, hey, your coffee, thank you for your purchase. Would you like to give $1 or $2 to the barista? You can say no, Dad.
Okay, I've already given $7 or $8 for the coffee.
Yeah.
Okay, and they didn't bring it to my table. I waited in line to get it.
We should really hold the inflation against
That's the difference.
employee. Let's hold the inflation against the employee. I'm with you.
Okay, see, you.
I'm a good tipper. I worked in the industry. I'm a good tipper. Like
okay, first of all, you worked in the industry for about a minute and a half, okay?
Dad, I worked at like 3 different restaurants over the span of like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, okay.
What?
Okay.
What?
All right, you did.
That's
You're
not
right.
Working. I closed like hundreds of nights at a restaurant.
Okay. Worked in the industry. No, I get, and first of all, don't pimp
Side work is the fucking worst. Like the salad bar, when you have to clean that salad bar, do you know how annoying it is at the restaurants where they make you those like fresh salads? That salad bar in the back is the most tedious thing to clean in the history of. It's the worst station to get for side work.
Why?
You have to take out all the dressings and all the crevices have the little spilled dressing everywhere. The bacon bits have gotten everywhere in the little tin thing. Like it's just, I'd rather give me sweeping the front of house any day of the week.
Yeah. Do you ever put a couple of fistfuls of bacon bits in your pocket, bring them home?
No.
Why not?
I just, you know me, I'm not a huge bacon guy, especially bits. That's by far the worst way to eat bacon, the bits.
Yeah, I don't like a bit. I like a bacon shred. Sometimes they, like if you go into Publix, they serve the bigger pieces of bacon.
How often are you wrapping food up and bringing it home in your pocket, Greg?
I'd be more likely to just take a spoonful of like hard-boiled egg.
Okay.
Greg, how often are you putting food in your pocket? That's what I want to know.
I put food in my pocket.
And no, he wrapped up a sausage on video a few weeks ago.
Right.
How often have you left it there by accident?
In my pocket?
Yes.
Oh God, that never happens. I have left leftover food in my refrigerator for so long that when I finally retrieve it after forgetting about it for months, it's indecipherable as to what it used to be.
Admit that you threw that sausage away that you took a few weeks ago. I remember the one Yeti's talking about. It was like you like rolled up a sausage. I believe it was my leftover sausage.
It was.
And
they
you're
have
like,
great sausage there.
And you're like, you're letting that go? I'm like, yeah, I ate the other one. I'm good.
Yeah. I don't like to waste money. Waste not, want not. I did bring it home. I can't recall whether or not I ate it.
You know what you should do next time? It's a little 2 birds with 1 stone here. You wrap up your little extra sausage, you go get coffee, you give the sausage as a tip instead of the money. So you're not really spending any money, and now this worker has now a used sausage in a napkin that they can bring home.
That's not a bad idea. That's a very good. I'm going to start doing stuff like that. That's a good way to get rid of leftovers.
What if you start just giving life tips? Instead, you just say no to the money, and you're just like... You're like, what did you, how many times have you showered this week?
Greg gives invest in Apple.
How often do you wash your jeans?
Bet big on the Lobos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Secretariat in the 4th race.
Chris, moving off of Greg, the gripes of wrath, I learned something about your dad this week.
Go on.
I called him, just had a little chat about something, and I found out, I asked him if he ever had his heart broken, like if, you know, he ever dated somebody and they broke his heart. They broke up with him, and he's like, "No, I don't think they have." And your dad seems to be impervious to heartbreak. He was the heartbreaker, allegedly.
I think I'm under the impression that my dad like got laid by like 2 women in his entire life.
He's mentioned that.
You're close.
Yeah,
You're
like
close.
I feel like he didn't
That
really
would
have.
be the over-under.
There's really just no action, and then he had a girlfriend, and then that was his serious relationship, and then mom
Literally.
came along,
Yeah.
and it was just like, you know,
Yeah.
Lord knows what he's done on the road over the years, as a single man, prowling
Yeah.
the streets of Buffalo with Dave Hyde and
Please.
Armando Salguero.
Okay. Yeah. Me and Armando socialized a lot.
I mean, I've been to those Buffalo bars, Dad. I know it can get.
I have too. Believe
Yeah.
me. And I don't want to go back. No, the over-under on that would be 2.5 for me.
Remember when I joined you guys from Buffalo? My phone died in like the middle of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we end up calling Juju instead. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember that. I
I remember standing outside that bar. That was a fun night, actually. The Dolphins, 2 years ago, the game where Tua got hurt, Skylar Thompson, first round of the playoffs, had no business being in that game, and they were in it, and they lost it at the end, and it was just a fun like night after we went out. Like that was
you're to your point. If you're a married man, I'm speaking for married men in general, and I have no right to. But if you're a married man who's inclined to want to fool around, you love to travel because the road trip is the way to go.
So you've heard.
So I've heard, yeah, because like when I used to travel a lot, that's the only time I'm literally alone sitting at a bar. The
Right.
only time in my life I'm alone sitting and eating at a bar. And I remember once on some road trip, I can't remember which, a guy actually tried to pick me up.
Yeah.
And
Nice. Go on.
it happens. Back then
It happened. What'd you guys do?
I'm in my 20s, my
It happened.
30s.
It happened. It happens. I
It
thought you said it
happened,
happened.
yeah.
I thought you said
No.
it happened.
No, but those are, those are my Tom Cruise days, so, I'm a hot item, so that kind of thing and so forth.
Dad, what about what about like heterosexual conquest attempts? Like what's the closest a woman's ever come?
I mean, there's always flirting because you know somebody who knows somebody. Like you're at after a game
Right.
back in the day. Gone to a restaurant with 3 or 4 other writers and
Yeah.
a couple of women there.
All
maybe
of a sudden you're like, ooh, hey Pam Oliver.
a random reference. Pam Oliver. Okay, but no, I am proud to say that I
This
have
has turned
never.
into this has been a dangerous conversation. I like it.
I don't mind saying I have never cheated on my wife and never will. So.
I would be funny if you were like, I don't mind saying I've only cheated twice, and it was, I don't remember either of them. So
That's right. I was too drunk.
Yeah.
As we celebrate our 44th wedding anniversary today, we're talking about infidelity that never happened. How did we get down this road?
Yeti, I feel like this is a bad place to walk because I'm not someone who crushes the anniversary birthday gifts. Like I've done a few things over the years, not like I don't go crazy every year for these things, but my dad, it's pretty adorable, honestly, how proud he was of himself for getting my mom one of the oddest like banner things I've ever. My dad.
Tell me about it. What was it?
On Amazon, he got just a banner, like probably like a 6x4.
Yeah, it was 6x4. $12. What a bargain.
Happy 44th anniversary, which is adorable. Not hating on it, but he was like, he built it up. We were driving to lunch, and he's just like, man, do I have a good idea for you for your anniversary? And I was just like, oh, this is good because my anniversary's coming up. And he's just like, you should get a banner that says happy whatever year it is. And I was just like,
A banner.
man.
Okay,
Greg loves a banner moment.
Okay, I got home from the Orange Bowl game at like 1:30.
Dad, we don't need the whole spiel. I mean, I know I'm the only one that's heard it, but yeah.
Right.
The night
Okay,
before,
I won't tell it then.
the night before he put it up. That's it.
And surprised, so she was surprised by this big banner when she woke up. And your mother, who's not particularly emotive, doesn't particularly,
The Codys talk via text. That's how we do it.
right. But your mother does, when she's emotive, she'll include like 6 or 8 exclamation points.
I'm not gonna lie, Dad. When you first were like, she was so excited. I've rarely seen your mother like this. I was thinking, wow, maybe she came back in and got some sheets and giggles going with him or something. But he's like, no, look what she wrote, and it was just like a text of my mom being like, thank you.
No, it was more than that. There were dancing hearts all over it.
Wow.
It was like a big deal.
Man,
But speaking of Sheets and Giggles, you know what I saw on the Sheets, because I browsed the Sheets and Giggles website fairly constantly, because they always have new stuff and everything. And they have something that I'd never noticed before that I definitely plan to buy. Flannel sheets. I think that's a brilliant idea, because they're a little thicker than sheets, but they're flannel. And so they're very warm.
it's like this time of year. I don't even know if they're warm, but they're just perfect for when it's cold out.
Yeah, they're warmer than sheets, but they're not big, bulky blankets.
Yeah.
And so I've already ordered some flannel sheets for my house. Look, Colin and Sheets and Giggles, I don't want to get off into a tangent, but they have been great to us. They're our biggest supporter on this show in terms of sponsors, and we just love the heck out of them. And everybody sleeps. Everybody lies down on a bed. You need great sheets, great pillows, great pillowcases. Please consider Sheets and Giggles, because they're wonderful.
Yeah, hit him with that website, Dad.
I forgot it. So I think it's sheetsandgiggles.com.
No, it's sheetsgiggles.com/Greg. Promo code Greg.
Yeah.
Are we still doing 25% off?
25% off.
Yeah.
That promo code Greg gets you an extra 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. And buy some flannel sheets, and I personally will send you a $10 check.
Sheetsgiggles.com/Greg. Sheetsgiggles.com/Greg. Promo code Greg.
Yeah.
Use that promo code. And it's my dad's right. I mean, they're the best.
Yeah. But he isn't right when he says he'll send you a $10 check if you buy a flannel sheet. He was just kidding.
Yes, that's true.
Okay.
Back after the break.
Wow, the rare pre-commercial
Yeah.
Sheets and Giggles read. Dad, bring us back from break.
NFL wild card playoff round.
Smooth.
Super exciting. Okay. Everybody and their brother and their sister are picking the usual suspects, right? Okay. Lions, Chiefs, Ravens. I know.
Let's tell the audience we're recording this part on Friday, because we're about to do.
They haven't played a game yet.
We're about to do our NFL not predictions, but just who we think can make a deep run
Yes.
in the playoffs. So by the end of this episode, we will recap Sunday. So some of us might sound really stupid right now.
Okay. This is who is not going to be favored to, but who might be a surprise in the playoffs. These are like our underdogs, our spoilers. So I want you guys to start.
There's not that many teams in the playoffs. I love how we're just like, it's not going to be one of the favorites. So let's pick someone who's got like 9-1 odds to win.
I wouldn't mind hearing who your actual legitimate favorite is, Greg. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, first of all, there's 14 teams, and a couple of them are long odds. Okay. There's really a haves and have-nots in terms of betting odds. I think the Detroit Lions are for real. I don't think they're anybody's Cinderella.
Despite all the injuries.
Yeah. And part of the reason I think they're for real is that their defense, since those defensive injuries, has looked really good. So I like Detroit to win it all. And I like Baltimore as my second pick over Kansas City. In terms of my dark horse, I think the Green Bay Packers are a good team, not ready to win it all, but a good young team that has a very high upside. Jordan Love has gone 7 games in a row without an interception. If he keeps playing clean like that, I think the Packers could surprise.
I think that the AFC is basically a 2-horse race. I don't see anyone beating Kansas City or Buffalo. I know Kansas City hasn't looked great this year, but they're still Kansas City. Buffalo has looked great this year. It just feels like it's Josh Allen's time. I know Lamar's been great statistically, but I just don't love the Ravens this year. I don't love their defense. So for me, the dark horses are from the NFC, because that's the one that's wide open to me. Like, I think the Lions are just too beat up to be as favored as they are. So for me, if you're looking for value, you're looking in the NFC, and you're looking at any of them almost. I think I could see the Commanders going on a run. I could see the Rams going on a run, and I could see the Packers as well. I mean, the Packers have better odds to win than those two teams. But if you're looking for long shots, I would say Rams and Commanders would be the teams I might just take flyers on. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to be more Eagles, I'm thinking it's going to be Eagles versus either the Bills or the Chiefs for me. But
okay, how about you, Yeti?
I would say Rams or Commanders in terms of the game that Yeti's playing.
I've got the Lions going to the Super Bowl in spite of their injuries. But if there were a team in the NFC that would take that out and be able to take it the whole way, I've got the Rams. They've got the experience.
Yeah.
They've got, when they're clicking, they're
that
great.
Defense is sneaky good too.
Yeah. And so I don't think many people are choosing the Rams, but I think I don't think they'll have any problems with the Vikings. Sam Darnold's going to be Sam Darnold, as Bomani says.
Yeah. I mean, these games have already happened to everyone listening to us, so let's limit how much we do this, but that's a weird small line there. You would think the Vikings would be a bigger favorite.
Yeah, I think the Rams are going. I think the Rams will take the Vikings, and if anyone's going to take out the Lions, it'll be the Rams.
The problem with the Rams, the only one, is that they're like everyone's kind of. Yeah, like everyone's kind of saying that is that the Rams are the team that. So it makes me feel like because everyone's saying that the Vikings are going to win.
I love the idea of Baker and the Bucks making a run, and I think they'll handle the Commanders with ease.
Nah,
but it's just I just think they're inconsistent. They're inconsistent.
The Bucks defense stinks. The Commanders defense is solid. If Jaden Daniels is fine, like that, they're a more balanced team. Commanders.
Yeah, I think Washington's going to upset Tampa.
On the AFC side, I've got the Bills going all the way through. Wow. I think the Chargers are going to upset the Chiefs. I think they're going to handle. I just think they're going to make things click. They're going to take care of the Texans, and they're going to be the ones to upset the Chiefs. I love the Ravens, but they've been so inconsistent. The Steelers have lost 4 in a row.
I got to see Justin Herbert do it before I'm like picking them to win huge games.
This is where we're going to see him do it. Take that, Nick Wright.
Okay. Bottom line, I think you two are grossly overrating the Buffalo Bills. I don't think they're
watched them play this year.
Baltimore.
Have you watched them?
I've watched them a couple of times. I watched them intensely when they played the Dolphins twice, and I've watched them in a few other games.
I feel the Bills have been so much more consistent than the Ravens.
I would disagree with that, and I would also tell you that the Ravens' defense early in the season was awful, like almost league worst. The Ravens' defense the second half of the season has been really, really good, and I can quantify that. So we're going to circle back Sunday because some of our opinions will instantly be wrong based on opening weekend results. So let's do that. But first, dad jokes and 3 facts, Jack.
He's always kind of thinking that his puns are in vogue. He cracks himself up like an egg with a yolk, and now Chris's morale is broke. Dad jokes.
Number 3, why do cows have hooves instead of feet?
Because they have to walk on tough terrain. Why did I just answer that like it was a normal question? Go ahead.
Because they lactose. They lactose.
Not bad. I'm sorry. Cows just threw me off because I came across an article yesterday about masturbating bulls.
Wow.
Okay.
Like people doing it or them doing it to themselves?
No, themselves. Okay. You know the song Blister in the Sun by Violent Femmes? That came on when I was like doing the dishes or something, and I just sang along because the song's about jerking off. And so I was like, masturbating cow. And so I decided to Google, do cows do that?
Okay. Number
3 facts,
2.
Jack.
Wait, that's the lyric?
No,
I'm kidding.
not at all. Oh, gotcha. Sorry, I walked right into it.
Number 2, what do you call siblings who like math?
Say it again. I'm so burnt out on this segment. Like if you go back a minute, you asked the first question and I was so tuned out of the segment. I just answered it like as if it was just a normal question.
Right. Well, you have attention deficit disorder. That's why you were also late for this recording. What do you call siblings who like math?
Go ahead.
Algebros.
That's stupid.
I was actually late to this recording because I was cleaning my house, and there's just something about sometimes I get in the groove. I'm not like, ask my wife, I'm not great about keeping the tidiest of houses, but
yeah, I've been to your house.
When I get dick, I mean, at least my house doesn't smell like dog piss. But
whoa,
when you hit me low, so I had to I got defensive. I'm sorry.
That was a low blow.
But when I do decide we're gonna clean right now, I get lost. I'll put a song on and I just start going, and I'll clean for like 45 minutes straight, just throughout the whole house, like nonstop.
I can relate. You're a street cleaner. I like that.
I am.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Very streaky.
Number 1.
And I like a good cleaning going into a weekend. I like the idea of waking up on a Saturday morning. I don't care if the house is a mess on a Wednesday morning, but on a Saturday morning, I like waking up to a relatively clean house.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. That's why we have our house cleaners come on Thursday, so that the weekend theoretically
Mine
is
comes
nice.
on Monday.
Number 1. Why are mountains so good at telling jokes? Because they're hill areas. Hill areas.
You said mountains, though.
Because they're hill areas. Okay. 3 facts, Jack.
There are 3 things that interest him, so sit right back for 3 facts, Jack.
Number 3. In April 1939, Franklin D. Roosevelt became the first U.S. president to appear on television while attending the opening ceremony of the World's Fair in Queens.
He was the second to watch a cow masturbating.
That's right. At the World's Fair. That sounds like a World's Fair event.
That's good.
Okay. Number 2. A hummingbird's metabolism burns food so fast it often eats 3 times its weight per day in nectar and insects.
So you're saying if I just hummed a lot, I could lose weight?
If you were as small as a hummingbird and pecked trees with your beak, you could eat 3 times your weight.
Are you thinking of a woodpecker?
You're right. I was thinking of a woodpecker.
That's why I said humming.
Hummingbird, it's how they burn so much energy just to fly around because they're flying so quick.
But a hummingbird is smaller than a woodpecker, right?
Do hummingbirds hum, or they just fly fast?
I think their wings are going so fast that it hums.
Yeah, the wings hum.
Oh, I thought it had like I thought they had like a cat purr, where they just were like sitting on the tree and they're just like.
Yeah, I do love a cat purr.
And I was imagining them losing weight by just sitting there and purring. Do cats lose weight when they purr?
That's the only time cats seem nice is when they're purring, because otherwise cats are assholes. Quite frankly.
How do we feel about animals, pets being like when dogs or cats are like overweight? Is that something that should really be taken care of by owners? Like, should we judge owners if they let like a cat get overweight?
Oh, 100%.
I mean,
right
Dad,
now,
I'm thinking back. Like, I remember like Sandy and Riley both were like cute puppies, and then they got into their older ages, and we were like, oh, they're. Well, that's because you don't take any of your dogs for walks. I think that's also why.
No, I do. I took my dog for a walk the other day. They don't get any exercise walking. They have to run and chase balls.
They don't get any exercise walking. Did you just say
very
that?
little? Because when a dog walks
what a way to justify you never taking your dog for a walk.
Okay,
no, your dad. You're right. Dog walks are bad for dogs. No, I did read that.
Okay, if you'll allow me to finish the sentence. When I walk Jumpin' Charlie on a leash, his nose is on the ground. He's sniffing for other dogs. He's not moving fast. He's crawling. I have to pull him on the leash just to get him to move fast.
That's because he has no idea what a walk is.
Number 1. In the 1940s, in the United States, a chicken named Mike once survived for 18 months without a head.
What?
That's correct. And I had a feeling someone would say, what?
How did this work?
Like, there's probably
Mike's a chicken.
There's probably so few chickens that have been named Mike. And then there's probably so few chickens that have survived that long with their head cut off. And to have both of those honors.
Mike the chicken survived as his jugular vein and most of his brain stem were left enough intact to ensure just enough brain function to remain alive.
I saw a duck get hit by a car the other day, and I saw it be alive for about 3 seconds after the contact.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Where
if I hit a duck if I hit any animal on the roadway, that would bother me for days.
I mean, I was the car right behind the car that did it, and that stayed with me a good like hour.
Yeah.
I hit a rabbit once, and I felt really bad. And I dropped my cousin off at his house, and I was driving back, and I see the rabbit hopping around. I'm like, it survived! And then I accidentally hit it again.
No way.
Yeah, it was my dad.
Yeti.
My dad was like, "If you hit me, just
No.
don't go back. Just don't turn around, please. If you ever hit me."
Wait
with
a
the car."
minute. Hold on a
That's
second.
ridiculous.
Hold on a second.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. You're lying.
I
This
am
is
not
like something
lying.
from
No,
a movie that I wouldn't like. I'd be like, it hit it again.
This is a real thing. It was.
Wait,
I was
all right,
coming
so
back from Charlotte. We went to play laser tag with some cousins.
So and the bunny, a little bunny, just hopped across at the wrong time, and you
It's like
hit
2 in
it.
the morning. Yeah, and I hit
You're
it. With,
hammered, even though you don't drink.
yeah, hit it with the car, and I felt really bad. I dropped my cousin off down the road.
You don't know. It's probably a different bunny.
That would be really weird. It was in the exact same place. I didn't
That would
see
be
the
weird.
body laying there.
You hit the bunny.
Like I ran over the bunny. Yeah,
You think that bunny is going to be crossing the street again?
Chris, it was. I can't
How the
explain it.
Yeti, you don't know it was the same bunny.
There was no body there. Did like the
It's the
did the bunny
wilderness.
morgue?
You think there's one bunny?
Chris in the
Yeah.
exact same place when the body was gone?
These animals are stupid. You think the one thing he knows now, I'm never going near that street again. I just got hit by
I'm
a
just
car.
saying the body was gone.
Dad, settle this argument.
I mean, I've talked to Yeti about this. It ended happily because the next day his family had beautiful rabbit stew. It was just the most scrumptious dinner they ever had in their life.
But they said a
thing.
prayer. But they said a prayer for the wrong bunny. It wasn't that bunny. Now this bunny that sacrificed its life for this stew it didn't get credit for its sacrifice because they
Yeah.
were celebrating the other bunny.
But animals don't have fingerprints. We think all animals look alike. That's the problem. With human beings.
That's bunny racism by Yeti right there. Just assuming that's the same.
It is bunny
The
racism.
basis.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, I got to run because it's my anniversary and I'm late for a dinner.
What are you thinking? You going to put the sheets and giggles to use tonight, or what?
You know that, baby. Oh, yeah.
I imagine that's what it sounds like, and then a little coughing. Yep, there you go. Exactly. Except you can hear the coughing more.
I apologize. I'm still getting over a cold. Make my voice sound really dearly deep.
You can hear the coughing better though in real life because it's not on Zoom. Now I'm picturing my parents having they're on the road. My dad's on the road, and they're on a Zoom meeting just to keep it fresh. And my dad, you can't hear him because he's coughing, but it's on Zoom. And I don't know why I'm talking about this. All right, let's get to football.
Please don't picture that. I would pay you not to picture that. I'll give you $100 a month not to ever picture that or think about it again.
Okay.
I'm out of here. We'll see you Sunday. That kind of thing.
I just farted.
Oh, God.
Brad.
All right, before we get to sports, I want to get a little bit serious for a second. These Los Angeles wildfires, if we're lucky enough not to know anybody who's out there, ravaged by this and directly affected, we can just sort of feel bad from afar, which I did for a while. But then when I hear that Ron McGill, our friend, my collaborator on the Pride of a Lion book, his wife, her family, her mother and father lost their house, lost everything. They had lived in the same house for decades. All of their belongings, all of their mementos, photo albums, everything were lost. And so it becomes personalized. And, I just really feel for the people in the LA area, the Palisades Park area, who are just basically having their lives thrown upside down. So, I just wanted to mention that real quickly. Ron McGill, we're so sorry for you. And thank God that Rita's parents are well. They got out of there. So,
Rita, we feel sad for you too. You addressed it only to Ron.
Yeah.
oh, okay. All right. I didn't realize that. I thought I mentioned Rita.
Nope.
Okay.
Dad, what's your biggest takeaway from NFL Sunday?
I was surprised.
At least what we have, the results we have, because when we're recording this, it's the middle of the Packers game. We haven't seen the Sunday night game.
Right.
We don't have the Monday game. So basically, we're reacting to Bills,
Denver,
and then that's it.
Okay, I'm
And
actually
the Saturday action.
okay. My biggest surprise is how I was with Houston. Okay, and how disappointed I was with Justin Herbert.
You're telling me.
I mean, I expected the Chargers to win that game. I expected Justin Herbert to outpitch, C.J. Stroud, and the Houston defense was impressive. I mean, they have two cornerbacks, man, and they shrank Justin Herbert. I mean, that was to me that's the biggest route or the biggest surprise of the NFL playoffs so far.
The two storylines that stick out to me are the pressure's going to get ramped up on Justin Herbert finally, and then this is the Bills' year. Those are the two stories. Like the Bills look. I've been saying it for weeks now, but man, I don't know how Josh Allen's not the MVP.
Wow, we so disagree on that.
Like I know, like I was saying literally less than a week ago on Levitard's show that it's Lamar Jackson's award, but it's just Lamar. That Lamar, the Ravens defense is playing as good as any defense in the league right now. At least he has that to help him.
Yes.
I'm not saying the Bills defense isn't playing good, but man, that's my takeaway. Josh Allen, holy shit.
Did you see our guy Mac Hollins play that punt perfectly?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. He
played the punt perfectly, and then he gets the penalty late in the game, like stepping over Patrick Surtain.
Right.
It was
I will say that Josh Allen does not have the supporting cast that L-Jack has, but I think Baltimore is so much the better team.
We're gonna get that matchup next week.
I know.
Baltimore at Buffalo. I'm willing. We can make a show bet on that one.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm thinking this is the Bills' year for sure.
Okay, I'm thinking this is Baltimore is a much better team. I think Baltimore is going to the Super Bowl. Personally,
it was cool to see L-Jack not only advance in the playoffs, but to advance past the Steelers, which have always kind of had his number.
Yeah.
And so it was really cool to see him do well against them.
The noise today, Sunday, is the pressure on Mike Tomlin. Like, the dude's never had a losing season. Like, yes, he's struggled in the playoffs in recent years. I don't think they've won a playoff game in 8 seasons. But it's Mike Tomlin. Like, you want to talk about a guy that if you fired him would get hired instantly.
Right.
I mean, I just think people are looking for something to talk about the day. Like, the problem there is,
Oh, say that again. The problem there is.
I think my dad forgot that I was usually when I'm talking and he needs to cough. We're together now, and so my dad just muted me in the middle of my sentence.
I'm sorry. So he could cough. I did. I totally did.
Hey, you know who can see that we're together? Are the people who look at our audience on YouTube. That's right.
And if you noticed about 5 minutes ago, right when my dad started talking about football, I almost gagged because of the sight that I just saw, which is, so my dad has these little headphones that he usually puts in his ears. But when I'm here, we have to hear this on the loudspeaker. So he unplugs the little headphones so that we both can hear. I'm going to show this YouTube audience this ear thing we have here.
What's the matter? Oh my
gosh.
Oh no, quit showing that.
Oh,
I'm telling you, Yeti.
Oh my God.
Greg.
Things I've never seen in my life.
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
Oh, Greg, you've got to clean your ears, man.
I get some wax in there. What can I tell you?
Merle Waxman.
Exactly. Merle Waxman. One of the original Hee Haw 3. Wow. Good callback by you.
That's how we'll end. I need to go throw up. Good night, podcast.
No. We have to do a little more talking.
That's what else you want to say?
Okay, just a little bit. We have to do a minute on Ohio State versus Notre Dame. Okay, it's 2 storied programs for the CFP National Championship. There are also 2 programs that everybody hates. Okay, 90% of America wishes both teams could lose, but it's a great matchup. Notre Dame's won 8 national championships. Ohio State's won 6. It's a lovely, ideal matchup if you're the college football playoff.
Lovely.
It's a lovely matchup. But who do you guys think will win, and who do you want to win?
I'll root for Jessica.
Okay, so you're rooting for Notre Dame.
Sure.
But you think it's going to win?
No, I don't really. I'm kind of, I'm not going to lie. Ever since got eliminated, I don't have a strong opinion.
Okay.
Greg, right before conference championship weekend, if I remember right, Chris wasn't able to be on the Sunday recording. It was you and me. You picked Oregon to win the whole thing. I picked Notre Dame. So I'm going to ride with them. Ohio State, I did not anticipate Ohio State to be playing like with just this balls to the wall attitude after that Michigan game. I thought they would go in and win 1 or 2 games, but be limping through. But they've been pretty dominant, so that has my prediction kind of scared. But I'll still ride with Notre Dame for the win.
Okay. All right.
I very well could be wrong, though.
Yeah, I think Ohio State is a clear favorite and should be.
All right.
Okay.
Let's clean your ears and get the hell out of here.
I'm taking the wax out of my ears right now. I'm going like that. The wax is coming out of my ears.
He's putting his pen in his ear for
I
the
know.
podcast on.
There's more wax. Okay, listen.
Wait, Greg. Everybody, go subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can watch us there. Just make sure you do that.
Thank you.
Just go, please.
Don't watch this week, though, because you're going to see disgusting earwax.
I know.
Unless you want to see disgusting earwax, there's a market for everything.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Podcast family, we love you. We always have. We always will, quite frankly. See you next week.
Tickling Greg.
All right. No, come on. Get out of here. Whoop, whoop. All right. Hold on. Turn off the cameras. All right. Okay. All right.
I'll break your arm.
Seriously, I'll snap off your fingers. All right. See you guys if you're still here. All right. See you. All right.